Hi, I'm Sally and this is the tutorial for my snowman charm. For this design you will need brown bands for the arms, a hat colour, whatever colour you want to use, orange for the nose and black for the eyes as well, a colour for his buttons, obviously you will need white, and colours for his scarf. So let's make a start. So taking your loom, staggered configuration, arrows pointing towards you, we're going to start by making his arms. So I'm using brown for his arms today. So you're just going to stretch out a band, cross it over, wrap it back around your fingers so it's doubled on itself, and we're going to place this on our loom. And we're going to do this a total of 4 times. Okay, so double it back on itself, place it on your loom. This will make the arms slightly shorter than in the design I've just shown you. Otherwise, I think his arms just look too long, to be honest. So we've gone down 4 times. But if you like the longer design, I think I went down 6 for his arms here. So if you want them a bit longer, then just add in more links and you'll have longer arms. So for the cap band, we're going to double it again, place it over the last pin, twist it so it's doubled again on itself and wrap it round like so. We're going to do the same again to make the other arm, and then we're going to loop them up. So double the band, just leave a little gap because you don't want them attached to each other. Stretch it out and double. And last one. Like so. Oops. And double. And twist it round and on itself like so. We're going to loop these up. So we're going to go in through this cap band and just take the bottom 2 bands and loop forwards. And going in and looping forwards. And there we go. So that's both of the arms looped up. We're going to remove these and place them at the bottom of our loom just for now. So as you will see, they come out really nice and neat and tighter, which are good for sort of some stick snowman arms. And we're just going to stretch it out and place it over this end pin here. Do the same with this one, just take it off and stretch it over that pin like so. I'm going to make his nose, and again I'm going to make the nose slightly smaller because I think it sticks out a little bit too far in that one. So if you want it to stick out further, if you want to use like a longer carrot, then keep it the same. With this one I went down 4 times, I do believe. 3 times. 3 times. I went down 3 times. I'm going to take one out. So I'm going to go down twice with this one, but made it in exactly the same way otherwise to the arms. So doubling the bands, we're going down twice. And I let go of the band too quickly there, and it pinned. So I'm using like a dark orange. Capping it in the same way. So doubling the band, placing it over the end pin, doubling it back on itself and twisting it round. Going to loop this up like so, and then removing it, and that band just broke. Fiddlesticks. Okay, just move that broken band. Gonna add in another one. So I'm just going to place it over this pin, and this is going to be very, very tricky. So hopefully this hasn't happened to you. And I'm going to go in through this one here and put it through. Ta-da! And that went better than expected. I thought I was really going to struggle. So there we go. So there we have our snowman's nose. Again, I'm going to place this over a bottom pin on my loom. Just stretch it out and place it round like that. And now we can make a start. No, we can't make a start on the body, sorry. We've got to make an extension. We've got to make extension pieces for this. Because snowmen, or ladies, sorry, are really, they're sort of round, aren't they? They're not straight. So we're going to add on an extension piece to make this round here and at the sides here. Make him a bit more chubbier. And also, so he's not so straight, because I think to have him straight wouldn't look quite right. So we're going to add an extension pieces here, just small ones, to make his body more plump and more round. So we're going to take 2 white bands and we're going down 4 times on our loom. I don't know what's wrong with me today, to be honest. I'm in a really odd mood, but I'm not grumpy, so it's alright. Okay, so taking the band again and doubling it, we're going to place this over the last pin here. And we're going to do the same on all of these pins here. So you'll have 4 pins in total, but not the top one. So we're putting the little bands on these 4 pins, starting at the bottom. I think we'll say Christmas cheer to explain my slight oddness. We're going to loop this up, so we're going to go inside the bottom one, just treat it like a cap band. So go inside it and just find the bottom 4. You will more than likely need to hold this band on because it is quite loose, but it needs to be. These little bands that we've added on, in case you're wondering why have I added on these bands, are to attach this piece, this little chain, to the main part of the design. And again, I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to place this down the bottom of my loom again. I'm going to make the same exact thing one more time. So 2 bands going down 4 times. So I just realised by saying Christmas cheer you may be coming to your own assumptions, especially if you're an adult. It's not that. I just like to say, makes it sound like I've had one too many mulled wines. I haven't. Okay, so I'm just doubling the bands. I'm going to stop talking now because I seem to be digging myself a very big hole that I'm not going to be able to get my way out of. But there we go. Let's just say I'm excited for Christmas. We'll go with that one. There we are. So 4 bands on here. And going inside this band. And looping up. And putting it at the end of our loom, and then we can make our little snowman. There we go. So we're going to start by making his hat. I'm going to make his hat red, I think, in this one. We can add a pom-pom as well, I hope. Let me just double check. No. We'll leave the pom-pom. If you want to add a pom-pom on, you can just add on. We can add it on at the end if you wish. It's entirely to you. I've just had a brainwave. We will add a pom-pom, but we'll do it at the end. So, 2 red bands placed over whatever colour you're doing your hat, and they're just hanging loosely on that pin. Going diagonally with your hat colour, and again, like so. And we're going down once on each of these with the same colour. Oops, like that. You need to be sensible now. Stop being silly. There we are. I'm in a really giggly mood. I'm going to try not to start laughing. Okay. And we're going to go down 3 times with this. With 2 white bands. Not all my tutorials are like this, I promise you. Go down the other side, 2 white bands. Like so. And we're going down the centre 4 times with 2 white bands. Some of my white bands are slightly sort of tinged with pink and blue. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe they're just not very good bands. I have no idea what brand they are. I think I got them on eBay. I'm not sure, can't remember. But either way, the white ones are good. The ones that are slightly odd coloured, so if there's an odd one that looks a little bit blue, it probably is. I'm trying not to use them. And we're going to go turn in towards the centre on each side, so just 2 bands turning in. Like this. Okay, we're going to start on his body. And again, we're going to go diagonal, so on the same pin. So we do have an awful lot of bands on this one pin. But it'll come good, don't worry. So you've sort of got a cross here. And we're going to work down the sides now. We're going to go down a total of 6 times. And I'm dropping bands all over the place. So that's 1. Still with 2 bands. 2. Oh. 3. 4. And I think my extension piece that I popped at the bottom is going to be in the way. 5, I'm just going to take it off, just place it to one side. You can just move it to another pin if you need to. 6. Like that. Same down the other side. Going down 1. 2. And again, one of the arms is in the way, so I'm just going to move that out of the way. I'm just going to pop it on my hook for now. Again, you can just move it into one of the centre pins if you wish. We'll add on the extension pieces and the arms now, so they're out of our way, so we can do our centre. So I'm going to put on the arms first, and the arms can really go wherever you want them to. It's a snowman, they just go anywhere. But I'm going to place my arms on the 7th pin down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So where you've got the diagonal bands here, they're going on the one below, just here. So if I place one on, and then I will show you, so you've got a reference point. so you can see. Okay, so you can see where we've got the cross here, and it's just here. This is just one of the extensions in case you're wondering what's on my hook. It's just here. Okay, the other one's going to go straight opposite. But again, if you want to place them further down, then place them further down. It's entirely your choice. We're going to add on the extension part now. So we're going to start this on the same pin as I've just placed on these arms. Okay, like that. So they're sitting on top of the arms here. So you can see just down here. And I will try and explain this. So if you stretch out your extension, you will see the little circles will be added in the bands. You just want to take the 2 bands of those little circles, place them over the pin, the next pin down. So you're working down the extension, and each time you come to one of the little circles, take the 2 bands, place them on the next pin that you haven't added an extension onto. And you're just working down. A little bit fiddly at times, but perfectly doable. If you need to, you can add this end band here onto the last pin we're going to add them onto, which is a 3rd pin up from the bottom, and that will help to stretch it out for you if you have little fingers or big fingers and you're struggling. Okay, so your extension piece should go from where you've got your cross. We'll use this as our reference, and you've got your pin just here. You should run from this pin all the way down, so you should have a little band around each of these pins down to this pin, which is the 3rd pin from the bottom. I'm going to do the same the other side. I'm going to stretch this out and place it over that pin there, and put the little circles over all of these pins. Just working my way down the extension and down the loom. Oops. Like that. And this is what it should look like once you've got the arms and the extension on. And now we can work down the centre. You can see. So we're going to go down our centre 7 times with 2 white bands. So starting where you got the last band in the centre. So it just joins on to that sort of neck sort of area. And this should work all the way down to the bottom of our loom, which is why I said we couldn't add on the bauble first of the hat. The bubble, sorry, not the bauble. Here we go. Going to take another 2 bands, and I'm going to go diagonally down here. Like so. Placing a cat band on this pin here, so it's the very bottom centre pin. I'm going to wrap it around 3 times. Like so. I'm going to add on buttons next. The buttons and the eyes are done in the exact same way, and they're the next 2 things that we'll be doing. So it depends on how many buttons you want to have on your snowman. I do 3, so I'm going to place them on alternate bands between. So you have one with a button on, one without, one with. So you'll need 3, whatever colour you want to do your buttons, and I'm going to do mine black. and you will need 3 white, unless you're doing a different coloured snowman, then you'll need that colour. And we're just going to take the black band around our hook, and we're going to wrap it around our hook 3 times, so it looks like this, taking white band, placing it over the end of your hook, holding it on your finger. You're just going to slide this band onto the white band. If it's easier for you, you can do 1 loop at a time and over, as long as all of the loops end up on this single band. However you go about it is entirely up to you. And I'm going to start by placing this between these 2 pins here. So you've got the pin here with all the bands on, and I'm going to miss a gap. I'm going to place it here. So it's sitting, the first button sort of sitting between the 2 arms, or where the extension starts if you put your arms in a different place. And it's just going along the centre of your loom. Okay, so it's sitting there. I'm going to make another button in the same way, just wrapping the black band around your hook 3 times, taking a single white band, sliding onto there, and I'm going to miss a gap, and I'm going to place it on the next one down, so it's here. So I've missed a gap here, put it here. If you put them on all of them, although it looks quite good on the loom, when you take it off you'll find they're really squashed together. So this is why I'm leaving a gap. And I'm going to make 1 more, so black band around the hook 3 times. Oops, I just pinned that across the table and onto the floor. Silly me. And just sliding these on, like so. Oh dear. And I'm just, again, I'm leaving a gap, and I'm placing this over here, like that. So there's the buttons. I'm going to make the eyes next. So taking 2 bands, 1 white. You can do your eyes whatever colour you want, but I think traditionally you use coal for Snowman's eyes. Maybe it's different, however you think to make them, but as far as I'm aware it's coal, but you just use whatever you want, don't you? Whatever you have to hand. Maybe you don't use anything, maybe you just put glasses on. Just put sunglasses on, that would be quite good. May have to do that now. Again, I'm just wrapping these around my hook, same as I've done with the buttons. But I'm putting 2 bands instead of 1 on my hook. And then I'm going to slide both of these bands onto a single white band. And I know there are people out there that don't like doing this, but it's only a small amount, so stick with it. You'll get there in the end. Here we go. We're placing this across our snowman's face. So you want to find your 3rd pin down on the side, and it's going across the face onto across those 2 pins. Like that. Separate the eyes out, and then taking your hook between the 2 bands that are in between the eyes on that eye band, and just lift the top one over. So if I bring it closer, hopefully you can see that the top one's over here, and there's still 1 band running across. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it because white's not great on camera. But I can't really do a snowman a different colour. It look very peculiar indeed. Right, so we're going to add on his nose now. So taking your snowman's nose, placing it on the pin just below where you've got the eyes. So this is the 4th pin down in the centre, and you're just putting this over, stretching it over that pin, and mine points downwards, so it's just there. There you go. And I think that's everything. Just making sure I haven't forgotten anything that vital that I need to put on. That's it. So we're going to add on our triangle bands now. So just taking a single white band, and we are stretching this over 3 bands. 3 pegs, sorry. Getting my words muddled up. So across like this. I will show you what it looks like if you don't put the bands on. I have a bauble design here that I have made, that I haven't put the triangle bands on, and as you can see, each of the columns just pulls apart and it doesn't hold together very well. So use triangle bands. That's what I would recommend, so you don't get any wayward rows. And I'm just working my way along, working all the way up, going up like this. So I have a loose band in there. There we go. So just basically covering the snowman in triangle bands, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangle bands on the body. Don't place one here at the top because you won't need one. We're going to place one on the snowman's face. Actually, we're going to place a couple on the snowman's face. So starting at the bottom of the face here, we're going to place one across the nose, there. You've got your eye band, which will add as a triangle band on those 3 pins, and I'm going to add one here, but I'm going to use the hat colour, so I'm going to use red, like so. And as I said before, you can add on a bauble if you wish, which I'm going to. I'm going to hope it's going to work. I haven't tried this, so with here, as you can see, there is no bauble, but I'm going to try and do a bauble. So I'm going to use blue, I think, and I'm going to take 2 bands. I'm going to wrap this blue band, one of the blue bands, around my hook, same as I have done with the buttons and the eyes. And I'm going to take another blue band and I'm going to slide this on like this. I hope this is going to work. Bit of an exclusive for you there. If it doesn't work and it looks ridiculous, then I do apologise. It should work though. And I'm just going to place this over that very top pin. So it's sitting there like that. We're going to begin to loop up now. So we're going to go in through the very bottom pin in the centre. Going to push the cap band out of the way with the back of our hook. Take the top 2 bands and pull them to whichever pin they've come from. We're going to go back in, find the next 2 and loop them to wherever they've come from, and then my last 2 go forwards. And you should have this shape here, if you can see, and that just reassures you that you've put them right. If they aren't this shape, then just take them back. If you give them a little tug, you'll be able to see on the bottom which bands are moving, and then you can hook them onto that pin, and then you should get your little teardrop shapes. So I'm going to work all my way up. I'm going to stop at this pin here at the neck. So you're just going in, pushing out of the way all other bands and extension pieces. Just, you're only hooking forward 2 bands at a time. So if you have more than that, then just put them back on the pin and try again. And there's no real reason why I swap my hook. I just find it easier to loop forward using this hook rather than the gold one of mine that's slightly smaller. And there's noisy people outside. I kind of don't notice it. You get used to it after a while. So I've hooked up my first side here. I'm going to go up the other side and loop up. Pushing the arm out of the way as well. Oh, have one of the armbands then. Looping forwards and looping in. That band's not gone. There we go. I'm going to go up the centre. So where you've got the bands with the buttons on, just push those out of the way and just loop the bottom two. Just working your way up. Okay. And then this is probably the most difficult part of the design. What you will need to do is, once you've done the body and you're onto this pin here, you will need to go down in through all of the bands on this pin, and you will need to find the top two bands that corresponds to one of these three pins. So the next ones that go across the pins, if you look down, you'll see, if I try and show you, if I just push these out of the way for a second, you will see down here. If you can see, I'm not sure whether you can, there's some horizontal bands, there's some bands going across the pin. You want to find the top two of these bands and loop them back to whichever pin they've come from. Okay, so just two each time. If you find you only have one, then go back, find the other one. And again, you should have that little shape there. I'm going to loop up now, all the way up to the top of the hat. You're just following the bands and just going over the top of the bubble if you've put one on. Going up the centre. As you get to the nose, just make sure it doesn't get caught up in all the bands. You might just need to pull it through, just so it's not getting squashed down, and just push those bands out of the way and loop forwards, so the nose stays on this pin. And I have Frosty the Snowman going around in my head. I won't start singing for you. Give you nightmares. Okay. Oh, just lost the bands then. There we go. Take it back round. Push it down. So once you're all looped up, like this, you can tie it off. So just taking these two bands that we put on right at the beginning, and you're taking your hook down through this centre pin here, pushing all other bands out the way, and you're finding those two bands. Now place the other ones on the end of your hook, so you have both ends of those two bands on your hook. If you have the bauble, I've got to stop saying that, the bubble hat bit on, you will need to take it to the side. If you don't, then take it straight. Okay, and you're just pulling the top two bands over the bottom two and giving it a tug to secure it. Once you've done this, you can remove your snowman from the loom. And we will make the scarf. Now you will notice, once you take this off, that the buttons have worked their way through to the other side. And obviously we can't, although we could, It's entirely up to you how you want to do this, but either way you're going to have to push something through. So you can either keep the buttons on the sort of side that was face down and push your nose through, or you can push the buttons through and keep your nose as it was. So I'm going to push the nose through because I think that might be easier looking at it now before I push the buttons through. But let's just go with pushing the nose through. Ta-da! Yeah, push the nose through, it's easier. Okay, and we've got a little bubble hat as well. Make sure that these are secure and try and centre them if you have the bubble, so that if you're hanging it, it hangs straight. Stretch out everything. Make sure that the buttons have come through, that they're straight and they look lovely. Here we go. Now we're going to make our snowman's scarf, because at the moment he looks kind of naked and a bit cold for a snowman. Well, that's sort of for a snowman, that's actually quite good. But either way, he needs a scarf, I think, so you don't have to put a scarf on him. But I'm going to show you how to do it if you do. So taking your loom, I'm going to do mine red and blue to match the hat. So, what you want to do, this is really easy, is we're using 2 bands again, and if you want your scarf to be stripy, like with this one, just do alternate bands. So I'm going to do red then blue, red then blue, all the way down to the bottom of my loom. You're just working your way all the way down until you can't go any further. Okay, then once you get to the bottom, cap it off with whichever colour you decide. So you can either do a colour that coordinates with your last link, or you can continue to alternate them. But either way, a single band wrapped 3 times around this pin. We're going to loop it up. So inside the cap band, push it back, take the bottom 2, and we're looping all the way up to the top. Like so. Once you're all looped up, you can remove this. So just place your hook through and pull it off. Make sure that your scarf is straight, that none of the bands are twisted. Straighten the cap band so it hangs straight. So it's pretty much like a bracelet, to be honest. Take your snowman, and you're going to place this around your snowman's neck. Where you've got these 2 bands on your hook, you're going to thread the other end through. So you're placing it around the snowman's neck, and then where you've got your end around your fingers or around your hook, just place the capped end through those loops and pull tight, and it will sit nicely around his neck. Just give it a little tug so it's sitting how you want it to sit. And there we have a rather more snug looking snowman. So there we go, there's our snowman, looking very snowy. So I hope you've enjoyed making this. As you can see, difference in the arms. I do think this one's slightly better. It's slightly shorter, but it's entirely up to you. You may prefer this one, so just make it to your own preference. Your snowman, do what you want with him. So I hope you've enjoyed making this. Please hit like and please hit like and comment even on this design. Let me know what you think of it and of the tutorial. Please subscribe to be notified when I bring out new tutorials, which I'm trying to do every couple of days at the moment. I am on Instagram and Twitter at Sally's Looming. If you'd like to find me, follow me. I do follow back. You can place requests and comments on there, and it's always lovely to see pictures of how your designs have turned out. I'm also on Facebook. If you'd like to find me on there, you can search Sally's Looming, all one word, and you will find my group where again you can share pictures, make requests, make comments, anything at all. Alternatively, you can just comment under this video. Any way is good, they will all get to me. So that's that. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy making our little sort of frosty snowman, and I'll see you next time. Bye.